In a world where 90s hip-hop holds the key to world peace.
How are you feeling right now?
Still pretty good.
Where middle-aged rap fans unite in their endless pursuit of showcasing their knowledge of completely useless hip-hop trivia.
Diggle Planets.
Where man, woman, and child congregate on Instagram to watch fans of Crisscross jump while listening to Crisscross's jump, while dressed like Crisscross dressed in the video for Crisscross's jump.
Is that Daddy Mac or Mac Daddy?
One host.
It's your man, Magic Most.
One announcer.
DJ Cool.
Two contestants. Endless amount of golden era hip-hop facts that are sometimes wrong because we rely on Wikipedia as our source of information.
The three original members of the Ghetto Boys.
This spring, from the studio who brought you Headspin Season 1, comes a once-in-a-lifetime event. Stupid Fly presents Headspin Season 2.
The greatest golden era hip-hop trivia gamecast is back and better than ever. This spring, come listen as two golden era gladiators go head-to-head to see who will reign supreme in their knowledge of completely useless hip-hop trivia. Be prepared to be dazzled by 10 new episodes chock full of celebrities, including J-Ro of the Alcoholics, King T, Mellow Man Ace, Rodney O, and Open Mike Eagle. Get ready for all new consequences that are so embarrassing, you'll stop being ashamed you wore hammer pants to prom. Now go find Headspin anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast and hit that subscribe button because Season 2 is coming soon.
Is your dog's name Brian?
No.
Oh,
actually, no.
okay.
My dog's name is Archer.
Oh, right, Archer. Okay.
Yeah, Archer.
That's a stupid name.
Shut up. Shut up. First things first. You shut up. Start the show.
I got to tell you something.
That's an awesome name for a dog,
It's a
by
great
the way.
name. It's a great name.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
When the screen first popped on, I was taken aback by your lack of hair. I forgot.
You saw it last week. Yeah,
I know.
And like more of the time we've known each other. It's
yeah. But I don't know. Okay.
All right. What's going on, man? How are you, man?
I am fantastic, man. It's a big week this week.
It's a big week. Why is it a big week, Kev?
Because this week will be I think, unless plans have changed, I believe this week, the nation and the world in general will be able to hear the first episode in Season 2 of Headspin.
Featuring
the podcast game show produced and presented by our good friends at Stupid Fly Media that features a contest between you and I.
A contest between Kev's Coda and Track Life of Rap Sucks Radio. Kev, shout out to Cheap Shot. So that airs this
Shout to
week.
Craig, shout to Double O, shout to Magic
Shout out to
Most.
Craig. Dub. Yep.
I'm convinced that DJ Cool isn't actually part of the production. I think Cheap Shot just found cuts from records that he had collected around the office and just is dropping DJ
Just added
Cool
him in there.
drops and yes.
Yo. Let me give a couple shout outs real quick, by the way.
Okay.
Big shout out to Suge. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Sharon. Andrea, these regular listeners, of course, Omega Fizz, Jeff, the Boston fan, Tanya, just all the people that have been regularly listening, man. We appreciate you. I want to make sure I shouted y'all out.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's all those great people, and then there's Fizz.
I did mention Fizz, but yes.
Okay.
Separate from the great people, there is Fizz, right?
And
okay
you and Suge doing the thing?
So me and Suge did a show. It was tentatively titled. It now will be titled the Mr. Suge and Track Life Show. We just talk about records that we thought were bad or good, art. Whether we thought an artist's career was going to go a certain way, how to ruin a slow jam tape, just conversations like that. So yeah, but be on the lookout. Just go to Track Life on Instagram, and I'll post it. We're not going to do it every week. We gotta try to get it right first. So
I
yeah.
mean, for the listeners' money, I don't think there's anything that's superior to you and Suge discussing slow jams.
Somehow last week's conversation had a lot of Jermaine Jackson in it. And that was real ridiculous. But
was
yeah.
it germane to the conversation?
Okay. Opening question, Kev.
Yay.
I'm out of here. I'm out. It's too easy. It just comes too easy to you.
Oh man.
Yo, you heard the Kendrick record?
I did.
Your thoughts? Any thoughts?
I thought he has shaken the hip hop world and changed the landscape of not just rap music, but hip hop culture and music in general and art and mankind forever.
So I'm assuming you like the record, like without any hyperbole.
It's all right.
Okay, fair.
No, I did like the record a lot.
I like the record as well, actually. I liked it a lot. Yeah. I did have a problem with it.
Well, what I'll say before you get into your old man stuff is that, because I know there are bigger Kendrick fans than I am, and I have absolutely no problem with him. I think he's a really talented dude. This record happened to hit or drop at a good time for me to listen to it, and I think at a good time for the crazy world that we happen to be living in right now. So everything sort of lined up just from my perspective, which is really the only perspective that matters. But yeah, that's so. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than maybe I would have otherwise.
I think it's fair. I think I would have listened to it anyway. Kind of unlike a Kanye record. I'm not, this is kind of my opposite of Kanye. Like, I'm going to listen to Kendrick.
Okay, yeah.
No matter what. And there aren't a lot of artists that I could say that about. I guess over the, most recently would be like Phife or Fly. It's random. It's just, okay. Anyway. How did you get in the house?
You're the rap Mike Pence.
Right? What's going on right there? Yeah, like the Phife record. I'm gonna listen to that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
My problem, Kev. My problem with this record.
I hear you.
Is not the record. It has nothing to do with the record itself, or less to do with the record itself. The record is dope. There's a lot of changes, transitions in the middle. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a production.
Yeah.
My problem is all of y'all who wasn't listening to this stuff and when I was young, and y'all was telling me I was crazy for listening to this type of music. Now y'all talking about this is the stuff you need to be on, and this is that real hip hop. Shut up. Shut up. Every single one of you, shut up. All of you. All of you. I'm sick of you. Go listen to your Shade Shice records that you used to play when I was in high school, when I was trying to play things like this new Kendrick. Go listen to your, when I was rhyming and being creative with the rhyming, and I was like, why don't you just rap more like Snoop? Like, all of y'all goof dummies. I'm sick of y'all, and I'm sick of you. Here's the thing. I'm sick of y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all how sick of y'all I am right now. And this remains because I've been sick of y'all for years, but I'm more sick of y'all now. Like when Tribe dropped their record, post Phife, right? And I had all these people online. I knew y'all. See, I knew y'all. And y'all talking about this is that heat we always been into. No, you haven't. No, you have not. No, you have not. No. You know what I'm saying? No. Jerks.
You're talking like somebody who is engaged in a two-way conversation, and the person on the other side of the mic is going to counter what you're saying, and I'm just here enjoying myself.
But I'm talking like I hate y'all, and it's not a hate like genuine. It's like a music hate. You know what I mean? And I don't want to hear you trying to tell the youth what they should be. You listen to the level of goofy that's on the radio now is the same level of goofy that y'all was listening to. And to you DJs, lastly, before I get out of here, you DJs talking about this is that real and this is what y'all played. I literally just heard y'all play Jagged Edge, Let's Get Married 7 times in a row at a club. Now all of a sudden you telling us we need to listen to Kendrick. Shut up. Shut up. Talk to me about this Kendrick. You listen in your car or your headphones, wherever you are, on a train, on a plane, wherever Cat in the Hat goes, but you don't talk about this record. None of you. You have no opinion. The rest of us get to talk, but you don't. You don't.
This is great. I love this. Rap is big, man.
Whatever.
Rap is big.
Yeah, okay.
Rap is big.
Remember when you were telling me that Hi, My Name Is the most creative hip-hop song you've ever heard? Shut up.
Well, you give this is, you want to know what your problem is?
Okay, I'm listening.
You give a lot of goofy people more rhythm than they bring to the table themselves.
I have a show, and all of the things I've wanted to say to them, I get to say, and they can't talk
I'm not
backward.
saying now. I'm saying whenever this was that you had these conversations.
Hey, I was trying to live my life, man, walking around with my backpack full of raps, and everybody was saying it was the worst thing in the world. Now Kendrick rapping just like we was all rapping back then, not just like, but with the same fervor and energy to be creative, and everybody acting like they always been on it. You wasn't always on it. That's all I'm saying. You wasn't.
I just want to know why you remember that. I'm sure there were people saying that everywhere, and I just stopped listening to them.
Listen,
I don't know.
life is a traumatic experience for Trek. Music is a traumatic experience, right? It wasn't until
generational trauma.
We were going to the Scion parties that things got better. But before that, and after that, to some degree, once we
have
sobered
to exercise these traumas from our youths. Yo, I went to see my dad the other day, and there's a record store that, by the grace of God, I suppose, has managed to stay in business. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They were there when I moved back, so at least, through COVID or whatever. And I'm sure they were there before I moved back. But I never went there because, let's face it, I don't go to record stores that much anymore.
There's that too.
But I happened to go to another store in that same shopping center, and it was still there. I was like, oh, hey. So I had to wait for something. I went to the record store just to check it out. And everything about it was very, very weird. Because it looked super dope. It was all vinyl. I think aside from maybe cassettes or whatever, super cool people listen to. All the records were about $4,000 sealed. Oh, yeah. I don't know if there was any Trek Life.
I mean, super cool people listen to cassettes. Crown Heavy, available right now. TrekLife.bandcamp.com.
But you can buy a cassette now?
You can buy it right now. I mean, it has the link to download and listen to it on Spotify right in there. QR code. Well, these don't anymore. But either way, you can also listen to it on Spotify or any of your favorite, listening platforms. But collector's edition cassettes still available.
Fantastic.
Go ahead, Kev.
Do you have a cassette player?
Do not. Collector's edition cassettes.
Gotcha. So we could be buying a blank cassette for all we know.
It would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
Yes. Anyway, so every record is about $4,000, and the thing that I finally realized, the thing that was off to me was that the hip hop section was so huge. It was like half the store, and I'm like, that's what it is. It's very weird to see, and like an end cap of in the display. So the vinyl display has the end cap. Traditionally space that a record label would pay Tower Records or Warehouse to have their record prominently displayed. That had an MF Doom record.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like,
yeah.
None of you people listening to MF Doom or KMD when I was here. But okay, if you want to spend $4,000 for an MF Doom record now, God bless you.
And you're not allowed to grow up either. You're not allowed to grow up and change. You sucked back then and you still suck now.
Yeah.
Just so you know. You listened to trash music back then and you can't jump on the train now. I'm not letting you on.
I'll allow it.
You
gotta pay that. You gotta pay that tax though.
Give me that.
$4,000 record.
There you go.
Better all go to the brother's family.
Right now. There's that. Listen, I'll try to be less angry on the other side. Kev, you ready?
I'm ready for you to try.
All right, y'all. Let's go.
Rap Sucks Radio. Blah, 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 blah.
What up, y'all? You alive on Rap Sucks Radio with your homeboy Track Life and your fam, Kev Dakota.
Yep.
Yo, thank y'all for listening, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you would like to catch past episodes of Rap Sucks Radio, you can go to rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you'd like to catch us on your television, you can go to BTSN, that is Behind the Scenes Network. What you do is you download the app or channel on your Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices. Click on that app or channel, and we are right there. That's BTSN, Behind the Scenes Music. We want in. And shout out to all of our listeners that have been down with us. This is episode 138. So y'all been rocking with us for a minute. So thank y'all for rocking with us. I just want to make sure, again, that we show our appreciation, man. You could be doing anything else, but you listening to us. Well, me rant and Kev intelligently speak on subjects.
You could be listening to the Kendrick album.
You could be. You shouldn't, though. If you wasn't rocking with the ill stuff back then, you just don't rock with it now. Just walk away, fam. Walk away.
Could
This
be
ain't for
listening
you.
to K Dot. Instead, you're listening to K Dash.
Well, you are listening to K Dot. K Dot Dakota.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll start the show.
And I got nothing for you, buddy.
Episode title. Wait, what did you say when I said your fam Kev Dakota? What did you say?
What do you mean?
Did I just when I said you're listening to Homeboy Track Life and your fam Kev Dakota? What did you say?
I blanked out. I think I just said hi.
I was like, wait, did I miss it? There was supposed to be something clever, right? We work on this, Kev. All right. Here we go.
No, we don't. Come on. Let's not start telling lies now. We're 138 episodes in.
This is when you start lying. This is when sponsors show up. Episode title, You Minor, We Major. You're all up in the game and don't deserve to be a player. There's a story behind this. I'm not selling that story, though. That's just for Kev's ridiculousness. Topic number 1 is the round mound of hating anyone brown. Not to be confused with Charles Barkley, who actually is also the round mound of seemingly hating anyone brown, to be fair. If we're just being fair about it. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was about to have Luca's baby last night. I was like, good grief. Good grief. Other people have won things too. Do we have to do this? All right, here we go.
Hey, how's that happy trek going?
Right? I'm working on it. By the end of the episode, I will be happy.
I'm trying.
Right? Shut up. Yo, all right. The reason for this title, The Round Mound of Hating Anyone Brown, is House Republican Conference Chair Representative Elise Stefanik has shoehorned herself into the ass end of most of today's terrible headlines. That is true, actually. Source for this is Newsweek.com. Elise Stefanik, Adam Kinzinger, the children, the people who Wu-Tang is for, and also the Browns. Yeah, because you got to hate the Browns. Listen, GOP Representative Adam Kinzinger. See, here's the thing. There's no G in this one, though.
Wait,
right?
What?
You realize that there's a G. So were you trying to be funny when you wrote Kinzinger the first time?
No.
Or did you accidentally put a G in there? K-I-N-G.
Oh. Yeah, no, I blew it. Yeah, that's my
Okay.
typo.
I thought you were trying to say King Zinger, like king, king of this. Okay, so it's King. Okay, cool. King
That
Zinger.
would
I
have
thought
been
you were trying to be clever. Of Illinois took aim at House Republican Conference Chair Representative Elise Stefanik, warning that politics is failing after she accused Democrats of being pedophiles. She tweeted, "The White House, House Dems, and usual pedo grifters are so out pedo grifters are so out of touch with the American people that rather than present any plan or urgency to address the nationwide baby formula crisis, they double down on sending pallets of formula to the southern border. Joe Biden has no plan," in all caps. No plan is in all caps. Oh, and also, Stefanik is now facing a fresh backlash over Facebook ads the critics say invoked the racist Great Replacement conspiracy theory following the deadly mass shooting in Buffalo. Very saddened to hear of the tragic news of fellow New Yorkers in Buffalo, Stefanik wrote in a tweet. "We are praying for the entire community and law enforcement at this time." Her tweet was met with criticism, with some accusing the Congresswoman of invoking the conspiracy theory in her campaign ads last year. Before you start, Kev, no, go ahead. I'll wait. This is your this. Go ahead, Kev. Pass it over to you.
I mean, we're recording this day after, or a day and a half after the terrible shooting in Buffalo. Yet another mass shooting. This one, like many others, at the hands of a sick, stupid little white boy who picked up a gun and traveled 200 miles, I believe, to specifically to murder black people. Mm-hmm. And he wrote over 100-page manifesto, at the core of which, or at whatever, I don't know if it's at the core of it, but it's certainly a big part of it was the idea that people who do not look like him were going to replace him as part of what this great replacement theory espouses. It's something that's it's older than this country. Whether it was the idea that somehow Jewish folks were going to replace someone who was not Jewish. Now I think it tends to refer more to non-white people in America, non-white Americans replacing white Americans, I guess. It's something that's talked about nightly by some of the people on Fox News. I mean, it's sick. It's ridiculous. It's a bunch of scaredy cats trying to get other scaredy cats to feel comforted in their hatred and their anger. They get real cute with it and try and get clever and say that immigration policies are set up so that Democrats can bring millions and millions of immigrants over the border to vote in the elections and vote because they're guaranteed to vote Democrat in their eyes, and they will ensure a Democratic led country forever. It's also based in the very real mathematical fact that in just a couple decades, the majority of people in this country will not be white. That's math, That's my wheelhouse. But they can't explain math because the people in the states who they are using this rhetoric to, rile them up, they don't have any math books anymore. Because the math books show too many Asian people in them.
There's that too.
So that's the kind of nonsense in idiotic speak in racism that got this kid to a point where he wanted to do what he did. He might have also been a complete idiot to begin with. So let's not discount that as very real possibility, but he certainly took it to the next level with some help from his buddies there.
All agreed on all counts. So I have a couple of things, some in the form of question for you, where I don't see, I guess, any issue with praying for law enforcement at this time. Mm-hmm. Why are we praying for law enforcement? I mean, I guess, are we praying for them to what? I know that's a minor detail in this. I get it, but it just kind of struck me as like more.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what it is. That's her version. She knows she's a smart person. I don't know her.
Right.
I assume she's a smart person.
Right.
She's not a good person.
I'm saying
she's not someone who's serving her constituents with any kind of integrity, but she seems to be a smart person. I say that whenever there's an act of violence, adding praying for law enforcement in these times is her version of sprinkle some crack on it.
Exactly. And well, crack for her constituents. But not, I mean, I know you said the community. You see what I'm saying? But you were really very comfortable saying law enforcement over the black community. And right. I understand that there were, more than just black people, but he, in his manifesto and in his efforts, he stated that he targeted very specifically, mm-hmm. right? So this was an attack on black people, and anyone who was hurt and harmed, our heart goes out to. But I thought it was very telling to make sure to throw law enforcement in there. Another question I have for you, or another thought. If we for years have been saying that the lyrics in rap music can promote violence, why do we not say that theories like the Great Replacement Theory or some of the more hateful speeches that Donald Trump did over his time and have been done can promote violence? Why do we not agree that the same thing can happen?
That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe the Murdochs found that there's more money in Fox News than there is at Rawkus Records. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure.
The Mos Def record was pretty hot, man. I think there's more money at Ross. No, honestly, the reason why I asked that is if we can go throughout history, which I know we don't want to teach history as much anymore, but excusing the hyperbole, we understand that Hitler's speech aroused a group of people to take action they otherwise may not have taken, right? We know what mob theory is. We understand all these things. Yeah, and still we will not accept that someone that the things that are discussed and the way they are discussed are encouraging people to act violently towards people of color. Now, with all that being said, I do want to throw one last point in here, and that is you're going to start getting the what about Chicago theories. You're going to start getting it. It's going to happen, right? And with any of that being said, I just want to dead that here on this show particularly. Look, there is no place in the world you're going to stop crime. Like, I'm talking one-to-one crime, right? There's just no place in the world. There's no place in the world you're going to stop actual crime. Like, I'm talking dead stop it. Now, there are some things that you can do to promote it, push crack in the community, but you're not going to stop it. So when we're talking about crime, one man robs another, that's awful. When we're talking about, man-to-man or man-to-woman crime, that's awful. But what we're talking about here is terrorism. This is something that actually, some might say, well, Trek, you can't stop that either. And I would argue, actually, to this degree, I think you can make a much better effort. That's for sure. Right? Instead of screaming, Chicago, 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 black on black crime, black people, blah, 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 and all the other stuff that you're going to scream and shout. You're going to, of course, again, rest in peace to the victims of violence in Laguna. I didn't even know Laguna Woods was a place, but Laguna, Laguna area. Rest in peace to all of them. That was awful. The motive for it is something beyond my understanding and comprehension, and something that I choose not to speak deeply to. I have no idea. The depth of it, but I will say that there's an 83-year-old woman that was murdered. But please do not use that, right, to let this man, this young man, off from his crimes. And also, there's a list up right now that simply says armed, apprehended, unarmed, killed. Armed, apprehended, unarmed, killed. Armed, apprehended, unarmed, killed. Come on, right? I don't know. Like, you can call it race baiting and all this other stuff that you decide to call it, but the reality is, this isn't the first time. And the first time, one of the few times one of the times this has happened recently. Excuse me for dancing over words here. Was Dylan Roof, and y'all just threw that. When I've been talking about Dylan Roof for how long? Like, I haven't stopped talking about Dylan Roof since the first day it happened. Like, because people just was like, oh, he's crazy. And that was the end of it. Mm-hmm. Right? And went on to scream racism no longer exists in this country. Things I see from not just white people, but other people too, trying to cover up for the disgusting racism that is being spewed in this country, and it's arousing people to take certain actions. And this is what happens. Right? When you allow a man to go into a spa and murder a bunch of women, and you say it's not a hate crime, even though they're majority of the same color, same race. If you allow a young man to go into a church and murder a bunch of people, and you go buy this man a cheeseburger before you take him to jail, like, what makes you think that these people are pariahs and hated? They're defended. Right? Their actions are defended in a way, right? We all find them deplorable. We all put ourselves, I'm sorry, I'm on a podium right now, but we all will look, no matter who you are, no matter what color you are, and feel awful if we put ourselves in the position to imagine that it's one of our family members, right? A person like us just going to the store, no harm, no foul. You're not a Crip, you're not a Blood, you're not doing any of that. Even if you were, right? You weren't doing nothing but going to the grocery store. You see what I'm saying? And he pulls up with an assault rifle and a plan and a camera. It looks like Call of Duty. He's out there murdering people. Started in the parking lot, made his way inside. He had a plan. Pulled in front of the door, right? Pulled in front of the door. Kid had a plan. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like heat of the moment violence. This isn't crime of passion. This is premeditated murder based on race.
Yeah.
And the first thing you brought up was something that you don't even care about half the time, which is mental health. You don't even care about mental health half the time. Half the time somebody says something about mental health and you all in your feelings and rolling around and acting, you show mental health problems when somebody else bring up mental health. But as soon as one of y'all kids does this, all of a sudden you care about mental health.
Oh, quick.
It's immediately.
Quickly. And it's ridiculous. It's and what's the first thing that happens when a George Floyd gets murdered in the street on his belly on camera? What's the first thing that's said? Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? Why'd he do this?
Right.
Why didn't he listen?
Right.
He must be crazy. Maybe you're crazy.
Maybe.
You know, and we don't have to think that what happened in Chicago is okay for what happened in Buffalo to be a million times more deplorable. I don't have to prove that to you. I can hate both of it. What I do know is that the black mayor in Chicago shut that city down that evening. Best I could tell. Did she prevent it from happening? No. Is she trying to? I assume she is. I'm not sure how well it's going. It's still terrible. It still should not be happening. But it happened and she shut it down. You know what she didn't do? She didn't post ads on Facebook saying that that's what should be happening.
Sure.
If you tell people who are stupid and idiotic and insane that they're trying to take your guns away and they're trying to take your elections away, and by the way, the they is not Democrats, the they is brown people, someone's going to listen.
Sure. And it's not
and that's
as
what
though,
happened.
and it's not as though, again, we can say this about rap. We can say this about rap music, right? We can say, all of us can stand up there and say, I've heard it for years, rap music promotes violence, rap music promotes violence, rap music promotes violence. But now, but when hate speech or separatist speech promotes violence, and all of a sudden it doesn't, but it does. But it does.
Well, it has to
Right?
be. You have to believe the same thing across the board. What you can't do is say that rap music is a reflection of what's happening in the streets. Again, to your point, a reflection of something that happened in the streets to large extent because of things that were done by people who did not come from those neighborhoods.
Sure.
So that's
Sure.
a separate layer. But if you just want to say that those people who are mostly black males are saying things, or Latino males are saying things that are glorifying violence, and that's why we have violence across the country in all neighborhoods, then you have to say that these people who are on TV in a suit and tie or a bow tie, looking like an idiot and sounding like a clown every night, saying that somebody who is presented as a boogeyman is invading a border that is thousands of miles away from your northern state, is coming up to take your vote. That's promoting violence as well. And it has to be the same thing. And that's where the hypocrisy always comes in. And with these politicians like Homegirl, again, I don't think she's stupid. She knows what she's doing, and she knows that she needs that audience to support her, right? To keep those dollars coming in, those campaign contributions and those endorsements and the energy of the idiots. And if along the way she can pick up some people who believe the same conservative values that she used to only talk about before she started talking about QAnon and replacement theory and all these racist ideologies, then I'm sure she hopes at the end of the day, well, maybe if we can get past this, I can go back to just talking about that. No, you can't.
No.
You don't get that.
Actually, let me take that back. Yeah, you do. Because again,
she'll try to, if she gets through it, and she will try to pretend that she never said any of those things. Just like George Bush paints now.
Right? At the end of the day, you're going to have this is yet another Dylan Roof. I'm sorry. It's going to be swept under the rug as just one crazy teenager. Whereas any form of violence commit in what would be a common crime or maybe even a horrible crime is pegged on me as an individual, right? I go in the grocery store, it's assumed first that I'm a criminal, normally, and then I have to prove myself. After this kid has done this, that's still not going to be the case for kids his age, right? And I don't wish that upon them. All I'm saying is there's a difference in the way this is going to be viewed.
Hold
right?
up.
Do
you hear what you just said? You said, and this is why I'm cutting you off. You said that you will still have to go through the thing that you went through for your entire life, that you have gone through your entire life, that your brother has gone through his entire life, that your father went through his entire life, probably to a greater extent. I would think, absolutely. Unfortunately, right? But this is not going to happen to that kid. More important, probably to the point, it's not likely to happen to children who look just like him, right? And you said, I don't wish that on anybody. But the only reason you said that is because not only are you a reasonable person, but because you are somebody who has had to deal with that for your entire life. So the empathy with which you engage in this conversation is a whole different kind of experience, right?
Absolutely.
Women do not experience pain in a fundamentally different way than men do. But we are now just coming to terms with the fact that just because women experience a doctor visit in a different way, it doesn't mean that they can take more pain. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that certain kinds of women, certain races of women can take more pain than others.
Sure.
You know, all these stupid ideas and fantasies that white America has put upon people who don't look like them, whose lives and whose shoes they've never walked in, whose lives they've never lived, are largely to make themselves feel better. And that's the thing that leads to crazy stuff like this. And when your oppression is so deep-rooted and so long-lasting, and you've done a lot in a short time, that's the one thing I can give to you, because this country is not that damn old. You've done so much in such a short time. Maybe you're just trying to grapple with how much hatred and oppression and negative and evil you have accomplished in such a relatively short amount of time that now you're trying to say, okay, well, we're gonna deal with this. Good, you should, you should. The thing that is coming to light now, and I'm gonna do the same thing you just did. I'm gonna contextualize what I'm saying because we know what it means.
Sure.
We know that it's not all white people that are crazy.
I mean,
we know that it's not all white people who are racist, but and for that reason, we are actually talking to you, because guess who they're not listening to? They're not going to listen to us. When you go home, I don't want to see you. Again, I said it just a few weeks ago. I don't want to see your little Thanksgiving Facebook posts about, oh my God, I can't believe I have to sit at the Thanksgiving table with Uncle Joe and hear him say the N-word a million times. It's like, no, you know what? Go do it. And why don't you poke him with the fork in the neck while you're there, or at least slap him upside the head and tell him that he needs to cut it out, or he's going to get all of you in trouble.
It's been a challenge with regards to this. I was I don't know, whoever, if you're listening to the show, if you added me to that, it's called the Weird Rap group on Weird Rap Music group on Facebook. Like, please, you're not my friend. I don't know who you were, but that was the worst thing. I didn't know how I was added to the group, but this is what was said in that group, in quotes.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Black people in America are infatuated with that slave stuff.
Wow.
In a hip hop group. Look. This is a young hip hop listener who listens to artists who are man, these dudes are cool. I've met Cage before. Like, Cage, all these people are cool. They would probably tell you to shut up quicker than I would. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, it's only because you're being fed that there's something wrong with us. Right?
Yeah.
You're being fed that there's something wrong with us. This is a person from another country, right? A person who doesn't understand or get in depth with any of the history. So this is all I'm saying. What is surface is usually majority. Is that fair? What is usually surface information is usually consumed by the majority. So whatever rises to the top, slavery ended, black people were free. That is usually the conversation that you'll get. That is, when we were touring overseas, that is what most people thought happened.
Don't get all CRT on us now.
Right? But that's actually what most people. We were in Germany, we were in Switzerland, we were in Sweden, we were in Britain, right? Most people, honestly, hip hop fans were like, slavery, right? And that was it. You know what I'm saying?
And they probably know more about our history than we do.
Well, they didn't in that regard. They didn't. All they understood was that all they thought was that there was a bit of a struggle, maybe, but at slavery, everybody was free, and that was it. America moved on to be a place where black people were just complaining over nothing. My whole point about this is you're struggling to create the type of people Your fight is actually creating the type of people that are doing these shootings. You see what I'm saying? When I go outside and talk to my neighbors who are, at least two of them are fairly, I don't know how to word this, so I don't want to talk badly about them. But they lean a little more to a side that I'm not on. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
They're going to what about Chicago?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because that's the narrative you paint, and you don't acknowledge or understand how dangerous your words are, but you want us to always look back and acknowledge how dangerous our words might be as rappers or what have you, right? And this is not even getting into, as Kev mentioned, aside from what you're doing to minority cultures, what you're doing to women in general at this time in this country's history. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know when to quit. And this white male patriarchal power is so important, not just to white males. I know a fair amount of white males that are like, come on, man. Like, I ain't really tripping off this either. But you've made it important. For some reason, some minorities have made it important to them. You guys feel like you need to uphold it. You know what I'm saying? It's like this whole thing is ridiculous. And where it may not happen every day, it may not happen every weekend, may not happen every year, but it's happening often enough for this to right now there's another kid reading and building up to the next Dylan Roof, the next I don't know the young man's name that commit this crime, but if this continues, there'll be another one in 5 years, 10 years, 8 years or whatever. And we'll be comfortable that it hasn't happened every day. Well, it doesn't happen every year. Right? Yeah. You continue this and there'll be another police officer that decides, you know what? I'm going to just go off this dude. I'm sick of the rhetoric. I'm sick of the conversation. Better off dead.
And like I said, the math, the numbers don't lie. So if this is really how you want to act, go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. This is about, like I said, with her Facebook ad, she didn't specifically say something about, she didn't say the words great replacement theory. Let's be very clear about that. What she did is she said that the immigration laws were something to the effect of a democratic insurrection, were the words that she used the word insurrection. Again, meaning that immigrants would come in the country and vote for Democrats by default, therefore granting a forever Democratic Party rule. That's voting, right? A lot of people tune out when you start talking about elections and voting. You know what? Go ahead. If that's what you want to do, I think you're stupid. Why don't you grow up a little bit? Think about what it is that's happening, because that is, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. The voting booth is one of the only places where you are as important as everybody else in that room, no matter how you slice it.
Sure.
Is one of the only places in this country where you got just as much clout as every single other person in the room, and they are trying to take that last place where you are as important as anyone else away from you.
Absolutely.
And they are lying to do it. The bow tie idiot will say, he says that this act of supposedly bringing immigrants from what he calls third world countries here to replace to vote for Democrats is replacing the vote of who he calls legacy Americans, or sometimes classic Americans. He doesn't say white people. He says legacy Americans or classic Americans. And that's because he knows the numbers don't lie. Okay? Yeah. So, and then in the next sentence, we'll call somebody who's brown a snowflake, or somebody who votes Democrat or supports a progressive agenda a snowflake. You're the only snowflake in the room, and the room's getting hotter, and you still ain't melting because you are such a snowflake. Okay? You would be smart to shut up. I know you won't. But, you know, your time to get a break came. I'm not saying it's past. Mm-hmm. But what they're saying is, you know, we stole this land fair and square. And we ain't about to share it with all of you.
Right.
We just brought you here to build our railroads, to farm our crops, to run our plantations. And we ain't going to share all the good that came out of that with y'all if we can help it.
Yep.
You made this country. Yes. You made this country and gave it the character that it has in so many different respects. But I'll be damned if I'm going to share that with you.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
Straight
too
up.
greedy for that. And if you start acting like maybe you want me to share that with you, I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home.
Right. Or I'm going to take my rifle and I'm going to start killing people.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'm going to teach my kids to be hateful towards you. And all rhetoric is dangerous, man. I put it that way. We could pretend like it's not. I've had a couple conversations today concerning sports and the way that people are discussed. And I'm telling you, play if you want to, but I'm telling you that it all folds into a nice big supremacist sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And I have no parts of it. So, although I will say that those of you who shunned creative hip hop in high school and are now, fawning over this Kendrick Lamar album, I want you guys to be quiet too. Just to be fair. I just want to make sure that you understand that there's an equal. This is the equality of my conversation. You guys have to also be quiet. Kev, we have used the whole show to talk about this topic, so I think we're just gonna go ahead and bounce on out of here. Once again, though, Headspin features this week, correct? This week.
This week, I think it's the 18th. So when you hear this, it will be, or when this episode drops, the next day.
The following day. So Wednesday the 18th, episode 1, season 2 of Headspin. The show created made by the creators of Superfly. Kev and I will. We basically went head to head on hip hop knowledge. It was really music knowledge, but hip hop knowledge primarily. Find out who wins, man. Find out who wins on Wednesday. We'll post it when it premieres. We'll post a link to get to it. And just get ready, man. It's going down.
Get ready. See if you can beat us.
Yeah. See if you can beat us. But with all that being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. This has been Rap Sucks Radio with me, your homeboy Trek Life, and that over there right there, that's your fam, Kev Sakota.
Don't be a dum-dum.
It's hard. It's too hard for a lot of them. Too hard for y'all. That's too difficult. He just gave y'all complex math and y'all 4-year-olds. But anyway, y'all can catch past episodes on rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms, or you can go to BTSN Behind the Scenes Network, download the app or channel on your Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices. Click on that app or channel, and we are right there with plenty of other dope content. It's BTSN Behind the Scenes Network. We want in. And we out of here, man. On the count of 3, we say peace. 1, 2, 3. Peace. We out of here. Shout out to Traumatics, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, man, I hope you're enjoying it out there on the island, fam.
Yeah, where is he?
He's in Hawaii, man. He's on Oahu right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful pictures. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
jealous.
Yeah. Asher getting big, man. Family getting big. All right. Holla at y'all, man.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.